For when my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my updated Shatter King Spellblade for last Epoch. Big AOE, big damage, can clear all content. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Now I thought we would start at the training dummy just so I could show you how much damage this Shatter King does. Ready for this? Yes, those numbers you saw, 500,000 AOE damage. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills we're using for this Shatter King is Flame Rush in its cold version, Firebrand as a build-up skill. We are using Flame Ward, and this is automated through stuns, so you have 2 charges, and every time you get stunned, it'll give you a big boost of survivability. Enchant Weapon, which is going to cleanse ailments and give you a big boost to damage, and then of course your damage dealer, which is Shatter Strike. So everything works in pretty good harmony with each other. Now the way you actually play this is you want to hit Firebrand 3 times, which is going to put 6 stacks of Firebrand on the target or on yourself, and then when you use Shatter Strike, you're gonna take in all those Firebrand stacks and do a super Shatter Strike. That's how we're getting that 500,000 at the training dummy. And then again, if you ever need to cleanse ailments or you need a bigger hit, you hit Enchant Weapon, and then you're just like a super soldier basically. Pretty simple playstyle: Firebrand, Shatter Strike, Firebrand, Shatter Strike, and it all hits in an AOE. Done very, very well. Look at that. Now let's check out some single target. You do way more damage to high health enemies. So the first half of Shade of Orbis, he's just gonna get melted. Look at that. Even at over 250 corruption, you're gonna take out the first half of his life very, very quickly. Already halfway dead. Now you no longer have a high health enemy, so you're just gonna tick him down, which still shouldn't be a problem. 40, 30, 20, 26. Enchant Weapon is almost back up. And there we go, Enchant Weapon. This should kill him. 10. And you are dead, Shade of Orbis. Piece of cake. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with Enchant Weapon, and I'll direct you on what you want to take first. First thing you want to do is come over here to the right and get Frostbrand and Overloaded. This is going to give you a ton of cold damage for your Shatter Strike, and it's going to give you 1 free Shatter Strike. So it just helps keep you in the positive mana category. You're then going to come down here and you're going to get Frozen Sparks, you're going to get Concentration, and then you're going to boost your melee elemental damage. Obviously cold is an element, so this will buff your Shatter Strike. You're then going to come over here and you're going to get melee attack speed and you're going to get Cleanse. Now this will cost more mana, so again, if you're really struggling with mana, you could take this point out and put it right here and do attack speed, but it is nice being able to cleanse negative ailments off of you with Enchant Weapon. Moving over to Firebrand. Now Firebrand, what you want to do, this is basically your build-up skill. You're going to want to use Firebrand 3 times and then Shatter Strike. Firebrand 3 times, Shatter Strike. And the reason why that is because of this node right here you want to take first, which is the Fire node. And what this is going to do is boost your crit chance and your crit multiplier. You'll notice during the training dummy, it's almost a guaranteed crit, and that's because I'm stacking 6 stacks of Firebrand before I am using Shatter Strike. Okay. You're then going to come up here, get Searing Brand, and you want to get 1 extra stack per Firebrand. Now this does cost more mana, but ultimately instead of having to hit 6 times with Firebrand, you only need to hit 3 to build up those 6 stacks. Very important. You're going to boost your attack speed. Then you're going to finish off getting your ward, and then 3 points right here into Fading Flame. You don't need to get plus skills to Firebrand. What's really important here is this node and this node. Moving over to Flame Ward. Now Flame Ward you could use as a damage dealer. We could turn this into cold and you could buff your cold damage and your fire. So that 500,000 damage of the training dummy, you can like super boost that if you want, but instead I take this into survivability. You want 3 into Dilation. You're then going to come up here and get 5 into Barrier and 3 into Buffer. There's just going to be less hit damage and then less elemental damage taken for survivability. And then you're going to come up here and you're going to automate your Flame Ward. You don't even have to click it. It'll click for you. This node right here is you're going to auto cast Flame Ward when you're stunned. It's that little ting sound that you hear. And then over here, you're going to get an extra charge, which means when you're in battle, you'll get stunned, you'll get immediately a boost of survivability so that you could stay alive. Then if you get stunned again, that charge will go off a second time, and it's just an absolutely amazing skill. Literally must have for almost any mage. Coming over to Shatter Strike, your main damage dealer. And right now I only have 20 points in, but it would be nice if I had 23. First thing you want to do is come down and get these nodes. This is going to be your multiplicative damage, and it is going to give you basically triple cast, where on here, when you hit Shatter Strike, you're actually hitting 3 times. It is a lot of mana, but it is absolutely worth it. You're then going to come over here and get Crit Strike Multiplier, and then you're going to come over and get more multiplicative damage to high health enemies. So this is how you want to set up Shatter Strike. Lastly, we are going into Flame Rush. Flame Rush, you want to come down and get this here. This is going to give you even more less damage taken. So there's tons of DR in this build. You're then going to come over and get a boost to ward, and we're going to change this skill into Cold. And you're going to be able to brand enemies by using Flame Rush. Okay. Lastly, you're going to put 2 points into Frenzy, so you'll Frenzy when exit, and then your last 3 points will go up to Speed and Range, so you could use it as a good traversal skill. Now let's break down the passive tree. At time of recording, my Spellblade is currently level 94, so we'll talk about those final 6 points. In the base mage tree, I've got 8 into Scholar, 8 into Arcanist. This is just basically mana, life, intelligence, and resistance, and then 4 points into Mage Flurry, which is going to boost attack speed. But these 4 points, if you prefer something else, that is up to you. I just like being able to get those Firebrands out quick. Moving over to Spellblade. So basically what you're going to be looking for here is elemental damage and cold. So elemental affinity is going to give you elemental damage and resistances. You're going to take cold damage. You're going to take arcane shielding, which again is more damage reduction, which is great. You're taking melee attack speed. You're taking health and mana gain, dual wielding. You're taking prismatic blade. What's really cool about Shatter Strike is it works with intelligence and dexterity. So you can stack on 2 different stats. We're taking razor. We're taking blade weaver, which is actually going to give you a ton of damage when you consume your blade weaving, and you can have up to 4 stacks, 10 into mental fortitude, and then the remainder of my points right now are going to be going right here into Shattered Aegis, which is just going to boost your armor based upon your arcane shielding. So this is what I'm currently putting my 4 points into right now. Moving over to Rune Master, again, more damage reduction and life. And then this build is extremely mana intensive. So I've put 5 points into Mana Shell and 6 points into Wisdom, which again, is just going to give you more mana regen. So the final 4 points are going to go right here, and then you'll have 2 left over. You can put it right here for extra ward, or you could put it right here for added melee cold damage. The decision is yours. Now let's break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings, and I will show you what I have taken. We are going void resistance, mana, very important, crit strike avoidance, armor base, and physical resistance. So for the most part, we are spec'd into survivability with some mana. And obviously, depending on your gear, you could switch these out if you already have void resistance or something like that, or physical. Moving over to idols. Now on here, there are specific idols that will buff your character for sure. You have mana and cold melee damage. You have increased melee damage and cold melee damage. And then you are using life and life plus mana. So those are really the 3 idols you want to try and find. And of course, you could always just stack as much life as you can get. Now moving over to the gear. Technically speaking, there is nothing required for this build. There's no unique that you need or something you have to find that opens it up or makes it better. Now, unfortunately, I have been doing a lot of testing, and still right now it is better spec'd into low life from a survivability standpoint. But obviously come season 2, cycle 2, life and endurance compared to ward, it might equal out. So you can run this as a life, endurance, and endurance threshold, or you could run it as low life. That is 100% up to you. But if you want to run it as low life, you need to use Exsanguious, Last Steps of the Living, and then you want your gloves to have the experimental affix on it, which is going to give you low life. All 3 items. Now, looking at the other gear, you're looking for Intelligence Enchant Weapon, Cold, double life, Melee Cold, Crit Multiplier, Cold Penetration, and that is for both. And I've tested this out while using the set. I like using it this way better. Rings, Intelligence Mana, Ring, Intelligence Mana, Belt, Cold Damage, Mana Regen, Relic, Increase Critical Strike Multiplier, Intelligence, and gloves, Intelligence, Life, Resistances. So that is the gear, the idols, and the blessings. Now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great. How do I get it from level 1 to what I see on screen? I will show you. Now for me, it doesn't matter if I'm a sorcerer, spellblade, or a rune master. I'm going to level this build the exact same way. And the main combination I'm going to use is Elemental Nova, and I'm going to use Teleport. One thing great about Teleport is it has this rung right here, which basically means when you teleport, use a movement skill, it is going to use 3 Elemental Novas, which means as you are running through the campaign, you are also killing enemies, which is great. Now, there's 2 ways to set this up. You can run it as Fire, and you snag these 6 nodes, or Lightning, and you grab these 6 nodes. The decision is yours. But what you are basically deciding is, do you want to use Fireball or do you want to use Lightning Blast? That is up to you. If you're a fire person, you take Fireball, and then you can come over here and get more Fireballs, or you can come over here and get Fire Explosion. And then, of course, then you would take the Fire node and more multiplicative damage. If you like the Lightning Blast, you want to come down here and you want to get multiplicative damage, and you want to get the double and quadruple cast. And then obviously for Elemental Nova, you would come here and get the damage, and you would take this node. So that is up to you, but those 3 skills is literally all you need to fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and improved Shatter King? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A couple of asks at the end of the video. First, please like, share, and subscribe if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, join the Discord. We are now doing giveaways every 2 weeks, whether it's games or merch. The current active giveaway on my Action RPG Discord, which is approaching 4,000 members, is an Action RPG hat. Literally, all you have to do is join the Discord, go to giveaways, and click the box. Get into the giveaway now. Final ask, best way to support is Patreon. We have movie night coming up. We're going to be watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We have game night coming up for June. You get access to the VIP lounge and exclusive content. Patreon is the best way to support. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.